What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good and I hope you're happy to see me again. Yeah, I'm happy to see you. Thank you very much for stopping by. You very much appreciate it. We know you watch us from South Africa. Thank you. Thank you very much, Zimbabwe, Namibia. Thank you, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda. I see you. Thank you so much, Nigeria, Ghana. Thank you very much, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Somalia, Liberia, Namibia, Sierra Leone, United States of America, Jamaica. Thank you very much from all over the world. I see a lot of people watching us. You very much appreciate it. Thank you so much. If this is your first time, please feel free to join us. Click on the button, subscribe. I know you, come on, just do it. We already know we like each other, so no waiting. Thank you so much. We're going to do this, okay, so we can push our video further. All right, so today we're talking about something very interesting. We're talking about Victoria Nuland. Victoria Nuland is a very interesting diplomat of the United States of America. She's a master at some stuff. So we're going to listen what she has to say, and we're going to make a comment after.
Russia is not crippled. It continues to press this war aggressively. What more can you do?
So this is an interview about Russia. They're asking her, why is Russia not crippled? What is the problem? Why is Russia not struggling? Because they thought Russia was going to struggle. Now, she had a very intelligent way of speaking things, and you need to be very, to understand. Let's go.
What more can you do as we hit this first anniversary to limit their ability to wage this war?
So when you see the sanctions package that's going to be announced not just by the U.S., but by all the G7 countries tomorrow, it focuses very, very intently and intentionally, David, on sanctions evasion. So what the Russians have done, and all countries work hard to try to adapt to sanctions, is that they are using third countries.
Third countries. Interesting. Third countries.
To try to evade the sanctions we've put on. For example, they are importing 1,000% more laptops, iPhones, dishwashers from third countries, not because they need to, work at home on their laptops, but so they can cannibalize this machinery to get the advanced chips that we have denied them so that they can make more rockets, etc. So this is not about helping the Russian people or the Russian economy. It's about the war machine. So we will clamp down on that evasion. Starting tomorrow, we will clamp down on more Russian banks that have been evading sanctions. And we will be much clearer about the fact that even as Russia has kept its oil on the world market, it is making a fraction of the profit that it used to make off of it. And we will clamp down on some of the middlemen who are flipping back money to the Russian government as well.
This is very interesting, fellas. We're talking about Russia. They're trying to cripple Russia, and they want to understand why is Russia not crippled yet. You followed it. Let's watch it again, and I'll make a comment on top of it. Let's go.
Russia is not crippled.
Russia is not crippled.
It continues to press this war aggressively. What more can you do as we hit this first anniversary?
What more can you do after 1 year of war?
To limit their ability to wage this war.
So when you see the sanctions package that's going to be announced not just by the U.S., but by all the G7 countries tomorrow, it focuses very, very intently and intentionally, David, on sanctions evasion.
Sanction evasion. They're trying to destroy all sanction evasion.
So what the Russians have done, and all countries work hard to try to adapt to sanctions, is that they are using third countries to try to evade the sanctions.
Russia's using third countries. Now, fellas, by saying third country, she doesn't just mean third country. We're going to discover right now.
Put on, for example, they are importing 1,000% more laptops, iPhones, dishwashers from third countries.
Russia is importing 1,000% more laptops.
Not because they need to, work at home on their laptops, but so they can cannibalize this machinery to get the advanced chips that we have denied them so that they can make more rockets, etc.
Okay, so rockets and missiles need chips, specific chips. Yeah, to function. So they can go directly, guided missiles, go exactly to the destination, to the target. Okay, so they need chips. There are mini computers that are very necessary to function. Actually, in the future, the war will be fought over chips. So I'm going to explain that later in the next video. Now, Russia has been importing chips from the West for many, many years, some of the parts at least. Now, the West has blocked its ability to import the chips that are used for missiles and rockets and stuff like that, and some of the warfare engineering. They need chips, computer chips, so they can function properly. Now, as per her, Victoria Nuland, Russia has been buying massive amounts of computers like second-hand laptops, dishwashers, and all that stuff from third countries. Now, third countries here, there is China. But besides China, there are third world countries as well. Yes, Russia has been importing a massive amount of second-hand laptops, used laptops, dishwasher from many African countries to do whatever they have to do.
So this is not about helping the Russian people or the Russian economy. It's about the war machine. So we will clamp down on that evasion starting tomorrow.
They will clamp down on that evasion starting tomorrow.
We will clamp down on more Russian banks that have been evading sanctions. And we will be much clearer about the fact that, even as Russia has kept its oil on the world market, it is making a fraction of the profit that it used to make off of it. And we will clamp down on some of the middlemen who are flipping back money to the Russian government as well.
Clamp down on some of the middlemen who are flapping down money to the Russian government. Who are the middlemen? Yes, third countries, including China, a lot of African countries. That's the reality of it. So who is Victoria Nuland? Victoria Nuland, for those of you who don't know, she's an American diplomat, very, very astute, very experienced. In Ukraine in 2014, there was another president. Okay, before 2014, there was another president. That president was offered a lot of money to join the European groups and was offered a lot of money by the Russians to stay on the Russian side. He made the choice to stay with the Russians. They didn't like it. Victoria Nuland and her people organized a coup in Ukraine. Okay, there was an uproar in Ukraine, there was mayhem in Ukraine, complete disorder in Ukraine, and they toppled that president. That's when this new president came into power, Zelensky. Victoria Nuland organized that. She's a master. Victoria Nuland, for those of you who don't know, very recently in Niger, she asked to speak to the people of Niger. They welcomed her to have a discussion. Then she said she would like to speak to President Bazoum, who is the ex-president. They said to her, no, you will not speak to him. And she said, okay, no problem, I'm gonna leave. That's Victoria Nuland for you. I just want to remind you fellas, when the war started in Russia against Ukraine, American diplomats came to Africa asking Africans to take stance. And before that, there was an American senator, a black guy, I don't remember his name, he wears glasses, American senator who made the comment saying Africans need to choose their part, they need to choose their side, or they're going to leave the consequences. After they asked everybody to vote against Russia, many African countries refused to vote against Russia. Do you remember that? And there was one African American member of Senate that said African countries that are cooperating, that are operating, that are making transfers with Russia should leave the consequences, should be punished. It's just strange how they choose an African American man to attack Africans. Have you noticed that? Then they sent an African American lady, a diplomat, to come to Africa and ask Africans to take position against Russia. And she came to Africa saying whoever who's going to commerce, who's going to deal with Russia, who's going to exchange with Russia, is going to be breaching the sanctions and is going to leave the consequences of it. So basically, she said they're going to clamp down on the third countries that are nourishing Russia with these chips. And these third countries are some of African countries. So they are working on a package to limit these people, meaning to sanction many African countries into whatever that's happening right now. You are at war with Russia, you're fighting for whatever it is. Africans must choose side, and they say they must choose the right side, and according to you, the right side is your side. So African must be on your side. What's the benefit of Africans? Because if you look at history tells us that Russia has never colonized any African country. I'm just trying to be rational. Let's be rational here. You have two groups of people, okay? Two groups of people are fighting. The one group colonized you. They took you into slavery. They beat the crap out of you. They limited you. The other group have never done anything to you. Matter of fact, they sent you guns to defend yourself back in time. Like Russia, the USSR sent weapons and intelligence to Angola. They sent weapons and intelligence to South Africa. Africa to fight against the apartheid movement. The apartheid movement in South Africa was a separation between us and them, basically, where people like us could not get into restaurants with people like them. People like us could not drink water from the same filter as people like them, same fountains. People like us could not go to the same toilet as people like them. In that time, the Western countries supported the apartheid in South Africa, where a minority of Caucasian colonized literally a majority of, I'm trying to avoid the word because we're being sanctioned. During that time, the USSR, where Russia belonged, supported the... Who are you going to lean towards? Big question, right? Let me know how you feel about this. Africa must be ready to live the consequences of supporting Russia or selling second-hand laptops and dishwashers and stuff to... because Victoria Nuland is not very happy about that. And that goes counterproductive to the G7, NATO, and the United States agenda. Let me know how you feel about this. It's always a great pleasure to hear from you. Leave your comment before you leave. God bless. See you on the next one.